On the ice.
Pardon?
Jared Stoll's on the ice, and how close is he, and what can you tell us about the other two guys?
Once he starts practicing with the team, then we know how close he is. The other two guys are not skating.
Okay. So the fact that he's on the ice alone would seem to indicate tomorrow's probably not going to happen for Stoley.
Quite honest, I'm not going to lie to you.
Darryl, the Canucks got a win last night in San Jose, the first time they beat them in 10 games. Sedins did not get a point. I guess as a coach, that would probably speak to some of their secondary scoring coming around. How impressive are you with their start? I think they're 7-2-2 on the road.
Yeah, I think that the division's tough, and every team's good, and you're trying to hang in there. So everybody's trying to do.
They've loaded up the one line. You know the Sedins obviously very well, and they've got Kessler up there now. What kind of challenges? I talked to Dowdy a bit about it. Create some problems maybe for a game when you get
back. John keeps them together. Obviously, the other it's not very hard to figure out that they have the three best forwards playing on one line. So how hard is that? It's difficult.
Yeah.
I mean, there's three top players.
And they've also put Kessler with Burrows and the Twins on their first power play with Hamus on the point. So I guess that creates some challenges for a defense when you get four skilled forwards.
You know what? We've seen that over the years lots with that situation. Before Dan was here, it was those guys and Sal or something. We've seen that lots over the years. So.
Darryl, what do you make of this division? I mean, can you see 5 teams maybe making it? I mean, 3 do, but...
Well, you know what? The toughest part is the fact that it's not a balanced schedule. You're playing 2s and 3s and 3s and 2s and 2s and 2s. Yeah. So there's no way of coming up with that number. You used to always say, well, we play them 6. We go 4-2 against Vancouver, and we go 3-3 against Anaheim. You could come up with the numbers. Now you can't. And the division is tough. There's not a. Yeah. It is what it is, and there's really good. You look at we're not even in a playoff spot today, and our record is ahead of any time since I've been here.
Yeah.
So
that's why I asked.
So it is what it is. There's good teams not going to make the playoffs. There's good, and you know what? And there's good teams that are that are going to be bubble teams that can win the Stanley Cup.
Darryl, Brad Richardson has 5 goals for the Canucks, a couple of shorties. What was your relationship like with him? When he came to the Canucks this year, he said that obviously he didn't play for a long time, then he did play. And he said that he had an interesting relationship with you. That you probably made him a better player because if you're playing well, you're going to play.
Brad. Yeah, he's a good player, and he was a big part of us winning a Stanley Cup. And that's the thing nobody don't talk about. He's a good player for us, and not very often you can have a guy that is your hardest working guy every day in practice and as detailed as he was, and be able to play all 3 forward positions for you. It's a big reason why this team is successful. Brad Richardson's. I used to tell him, the hardest thing for me to do was not play Brad Richardson. Yeah. Quite honest, Brad Richardson's natural position was center ice. Yeah. It was a position when I came here with the addition of Carter that pushed Brad out to the wing position, and then those are interchanged. It wasn't nothing to do with Brad. Yeah. Like I think the role of Brad. Even last year, when you look at it, he played a lot of big games for us and did exactly the reason that this organization did well the last 2 years was role players, not big. I know the star factor and all that, but role players play a big part in it. And quite honest, Brad, with the way this, if you go talk to Dean about the way the salary cap was, we couldn't keep Brad, and Brad wanted to play.
You're not surprised that he's thrived under Tortorella, who's
perfect fit. Think about it. Think about it. Right?
With your team last night, finally the penalty kill worked out really well. 2 power play goals shut out by Quick. It seemed like a perfect Kings game, but I'm wondering if you need to repeat that to prove that you've really sort of, I don't want to say turned a corner, but that you're hitting the right direction.
Well, if you repeat it, we'd go 82-0. So do you think, is it possible?
I mean more the not so much the score, but the performance, getting the special teams playing well, getting Quick playing well in goal.
Well, our power play is a very good power play. It's not something that's dropped off, or I know when you don't cover it all the time, the guys that do understand you don't score every game in the power play. Otherwise, you'd have 82 goals.
Yeah.
how many is there on the power play? It's not about percentages, it's about the power play is about scoring big goals. That's what the power play is about. So last night the power play scored 2 big goals, which doesn't happen very often in a game. It's a difference in the game. Penalty killing became a point of focus the last few days around here, but they didn't talk about the first 10 games or whatever where it was almost 100%. They talked about, they wanted to criticize the penalty killers because the last 6 games. So last night you were 0 for 4, so you should be saying, oh geez, we have a great penalty kill.
Well, I think you actually had power play goals in 6 straight games. I mean, the power play.
Power play, it's always good. Our
Yeah.
power play has no problem. We can put 2 or 3 different groups out there and they shoot the puck and they go to the net, and once in a while it goes in, once in a while it don't.
You think that's why teams do use 4 forwards, Darryl? Because the Canucks are like 26 in the power play, but they got all that skill out there. And every time they put the puck back to the point, whether it's Garrison or Edler, it's somebody's blocking it and the lanes are clogged and you can't get a shot through. So if you got 4 forwards and maybe you can get a guy in the hash marks and a guy in low, maybe that's the zigzag way to get.
You know, there's no right or wrong or exact science to it. You gotta have, the personnel has to fit and work, and they have to be willing to accept the role, and somebody has to be willing to be a net guy, and somebody has to know when he can shoot the puck. In the way, with the way pre-scouting and everything is now, there's very little secret. There's not much, and it's more about the execution of it.
Yeah.
It's way tougher on the penalty killers than it is on the power play.
Darryl, now that I'm assuming you've had a chance to review last night's game, any more thoughts on Linden's game last night?
Linden Bay? He played 7.5 minutes even strength. He had some trouble in his own zone, just about every shift, and he was good when he had the puck. So,
what did you think of his? I saw you had him out on PK. What did you think of his play during penalty kill situations?
our penalty kill last night wasn't so much. Wasn't really watching Linden Bay. I watched the group before.
Is it exciting for you, that as long as you've been around hockey, to still see a guy get his debut, his first game?
Linden?
Yeah.
Or anyone?
Particularly him, or anyone. Is it an
Yep.
exciting thing for you?
Yep.
Is there anything in particular that challenges you when you go up against a Tortorella team? He seems to ride his stars and ride his horses hard. I mean, Dean's
we've
used to play
coached-
19 minutes, now
yeah,
he's
we've-
like 24, 26, 28.
Different conferences.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
the only time really we did it is Tampa and Calgary,
Yeah, right.
Stanley Cup Finals.
Yeah,
And quite honestly,
He says
I
he
think we
doesn't
both
like it.
asked the same of the players. Bottom
Right.
line is it's not that it's not as difficult to figure out as.
He said he didn't know what that team was doing. They were too young and too naive. They didn't know what they were doing in the Stanley Cup Finals. That's why they wanted him. It wasn't his coaching, he said.
That's good.